Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. It is a beautiful week in the astrology. I get to go over the full month of July today. Also, we just came out of solstice week, and so there's a lot flowing through and a lot of shifting energy in the skies right now. And I'm excited to be here today to dive into that with you. Last week, I hope you had the opportunity to celebrate the solstice in some way. That is just a really good time to slow down and really observe where things are in life with, goals and aspirations, but also just to kind of let your mind sit still, just like the sun does in the sky. And the highest point in the sky, the sun will be there for about 3 days and has already started to slowly descend and will do so until 6 months from now when we hit the winter solstice, and back up the ladder we go. So it is a cycle. And so it's good to stay in tune with that. You know, this is the full expression, the fully brilliant time of year with all of the sunlight and the daytime that we have accessible to us. So we should be using that wisely. And Cancer season is also a good time to focus on the home, to focus on family. Cancer is very much an intimate sort of energy. It's also about being ruled by the moon, routines, and sort of the way that we go about our daily life. And so Cancer season is a good time to examine our daily routines and our family life and our home life. And so themes within those realms should be really accessible right now. And this week we did have Mercury, a very, very fast-moving Mercury. Mercury represents the mind. Mercury represents communication, transportation, and Mercury is moving very fast right now. On June 26th, moved into the sign of Cancer, which I just spoke of. Of course, Mercury doesn't get too far away from the sun. And so this is, Mercury is being dragged along by the gravity of the sun, Venus way ahead of them, and the sun in the middle, and Mercury coming up behind and coming up fast from behind. We have Mercury actually moving into the sign of Cancer this week, and then when I go through July, you're going to hear also that Mercury moves through another sign into Leo in like the second week of July, and then also moves into Virgo just at the very end of July. So this is a fast moving Mercury. I mean, our mind is moving very quickly right now. So it's a good time to access ideas, to go through options, to brainstorm, to do things with your brain, keep your brain moving, and also to not let your mind get bored. I know we have these really cool dog toys for our dog right now, these dog puzzles. You hide little dog treats in different areas, and it's supposed to keep them from being bored and like really help them with their mind, to work their mind. And so it's called like a dog puzzle, and they have to figure out how to like work their way through it. And I love it. The dog loves it. And this is how I feel like we all need to be making sure that we have like enough puzzles around to keep our mind moving so that we don't get too bored right now. This week, we also have another slowdown going on. We have the planet of Neptune just before 28 degrees of Pisces. So Neptune is at 27 degrees, 41 minutes of Pisces, right before we have the slowdown and the stationing of retrograde. And so from our vantage point here on Earth, Neptune seems to then slow down and actually take some backwards movement through the zodiac. It's an optical illusion from us, but it's very representative spiritually and in astrology setting. It represents a slowdown of this energy, but also an opportunity to go back over some of our past, to go back over parts of the zodiac and sort of scour our way through them and then work our way back through a third time. This is the retrograde cycle. Everything happens in threes. You see it first, you go back, and then you have a third pass where you get to make the edits and changes. So Neptune is stationing retrograde on June 30th. This is the last day of June, and this is going to be setting the stage for the energy of July. Neptune is very much associated with the mind also, because Neptune is the planet of our collective consciousness as a community, as humanity, as the energetic beings that we are, and all of the thought processes that get thrown out there, that great collective unconscious that's very mysterious, but is something that people tap into. It's proven that people can tune into each other from far distances. I was just actually tuned into the idea of, quantum entanglement. Yes, two very sexy words, right? Quantum entanglement. Yeah, look it up. It's where if two atoms, were part of, were ever kind of like together and they were split apart, that they're going to actually still be caught up in quantum entanglement, which means that if one thing happens to one of these atoms on one side of the universe and the other one is on the other side of the universe, that they're going to feel it. They're still going to feel each other. That's the law of quantum entanglement, and Neptune very much represents that. This is like the mysterious way that we are all connected. Neptune also represents a lot about spirituality, a lot about hypnotic states, altered states. This is sort of that thin veiled time, this time around the summer solstice, where we can see, we can sense, rather, maybe. There's a lot of different senses, so it encompasses a lot more than saying we can see into other dimensions. We can sense into other dimensions, into just any mysterious places that, we might go. This includes just like meditation, and just like tapping in and letting your mind relax, and that's hard right now, right? Because Mercury is moving so quick. So this is interesting energies as Mercury is moving so fast. We have Neptune, the collective unconscious, really moving slowly. And so, that might mean that the train is kind of slowing down, right? Like if you're a train hopper, Mercury, the train hopper, just like running along the side right now, just all over the place, boom, 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 Mercury. And then Neptune's the train that is like actually slowed down enough right now that Mercury can kind of like hop on board. And so this is setting the stage for the month of July. 444, 444, 444. I caught all of them here on my clocks. This is Stacy Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community. Thanks for being here today. I'm moving into July. It's really interesting with this Neptune retrograde, and then we get this full moon within the same week on July 3rd. We move right into the month with a full moon. And Neptune is about emotions too. This is a very watery vibe, and full moons can tend to bring out some extra emotions too. So this could be, in my mind, a more emotional one when planets are stationing direct or retrograde. That's when you feel them the most. And so I think there could kind of be an aspect to this full moon that we're kind of like mystified, and it's kind of like that mysterious kind of vibe sort of takes over, where it's almost like we don't know what we're thinking or like how things are going to be, and it's kind of foggy, because that's what Neptune represents also, is like fogginess. And so this full moon in Capricorn is like a pretty straightforward energy, usually very ambitious, very much about our legacy that we're leaving in the world, what we represent, our who we are in the world, what people see us as, our career. This is a very goal-oriented, career-oriented energy, Capricorn. And I love, like, when the moon is in Capricorn every month, the whole zodiac takes the 29 days, for the moon to get around. So every month we get the 2.5 days in each sign. And when the moon is in Capricorn, I feel super motivated. And so I personally love the motivation and ambition that Capricorn energy brings. And so I feel like this full moon is going to be a really good opportunity to get into a project, or to like get lost in something, to get lost in the details. Capricorn can be about the details, sharpening the edges and making sure that the beams are straight and level. And with Neptune stationing retrograde, it's just not really a time to try and get those corners straightened out. And like, even if you feel like they're level right now, you're going to check in a week and they're going to like be all tilted again. So it's not the exact moment to go all full Capricornian into those details, but it is definitely a time to let some of those things that we can dissolve in. The month is a little bit quiet until July 10th, and then we start to kind of pick up again with some more shifts and some pretty significant changes here in the month of July. On July 10th, we have Mars moving into the sign of Virgo, leaving Venus behind in Leo to do her retrograde. We still have Venus and Mars traveling very closely together. You see them at sunset still. I love this view of them. That was so beautiful when the moon was moving through. So it's just so enjoyable to watch those planets be so close together in the sky. And they are the cosmic lovers. So when they're close together, and especially in this beautiful, heartfelt sign of Leo, we can really feel good in our intimate relationships, really close with people. By July 10th, we're also going to have Mercury move into the sign of Leo. They're going to join, Mercury's going to join the planet of Venus there and move through so very quickly. But on July 12th, we have the North and the South node making their 18-month change. Every 18 months, they shift into the next sign. They actually travel backwards. They travel the opposite direction as the rest of the planets and the moon and the sun do in the zodiac. So very odd, but the lunar nodes travel backwards. And so the nodes are going to be leaving Taurus, North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, and they're going to be moving into North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. This is going to be a big shift, like I said, only every 18 months. The North and the South Node are known as the nodes of fate, the nodes of destiny. So when they shift signs, our destiny, our fated opportunities also shift into those new signs, into those new themes. And so Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is a leader. Aries is confident and likes to start new things, start new cycles. So the North Node is going to be bringing in new cycles, new opportunities for developing confidence and becoming a leader and having fresh new beginnings. This is also the sign, Aries, of ourself, our ego. And I know ego has a negative connotation to some people, but our ego really truly is just like ourself, like our personality, right? Like who we are, the inner being. And Aries represents this. It's all about me when there's lots of Aries energy. And so I do feel like the next 18 months with the North Node in Aries is going to be an opportunity to kind of focus on yourself. We do need time to focus on ourselves also. We love our friends. We love our family. We love our work. We love all these things that we do, but our relationship with ourselves is really important. We have Chiron at about 20 degrees of Aries. And so the North Node will be integrating and moving across Chiron, which is the wounded warrior. This is where things with our health can come up. The North Node is going to be bringing in some new beginnings, some healthy new beginnings and opportunities within our health over the next 18 months here also. The South Node in Libra. The South Node is all the things that we are wanting to leave our life, things that we're trying to let go of. And Libra is the sign of relationships. Libra is the sign of balance and harmony, and not that we want to leave our balance and harmony behind, but that there are unhealthy ways, that things do get balanced out in relationships. And so South Node in Libra, I feel like, is a really good opportunity to rebalance and refigure and release some of those negative tendencies that we might have in our relationships. Also, Libra has to do with justice. This is where, like, if we have anything going on with the law or anything that, we are dealing within the law or going through a trial, or even contracts, like if you are going to be starting a new business and you're like signing a bunch of new contracts, Libra rules all of that. And so the South Node is going to be like releasing things within this. Maybe we have some old worn out contracts that are just like not working anymore and need to go. So these are my kind of top themes that I have for when the North and the South Node shift into Aries and Libra. And then we have the Sun moving into Leo on July 22nd, sparking a beautiful time of year. Sun in Leo, the Sun rules Leo. So this is home base for the Sun. And this is like coming to the hearth, home fire that burns so bright and that everyone gathers around because it's the beautiful, heartfelt place that makes us feel so secure. And so Leo is a really beautiful place for the Sun to be. This can be like almost like a homing device, right? When the Sun comes home, it can feel just so comfortable and beautiful. And it's kind of like the hot dog days of summer with the hot sign of Leo. And so that also is the day, July 22nd, that Venus stations retrograde. I did write the date that she moves into her shadow. That was last week. On June 19th, Venus moved into her shadow, which is the first of the three passes of the retrograde that I mentioned, the three passes. So she is stationing retrograde on July 22nd and then has until like mid-October in her retrograde. And that's the same day that the Sun moves into Leo. The sun moves in to Leo, the sign she's retrograding in, to provide extra support, extra light, extra love, extra comfort, extra hearth fire beauty for her retrograde. So I love that. And then the very next day, July 23rd, Chiron, not a planet, an asteroid, but a very significant one that we figure and most astrologers connect with in astrology. Chiron is stationing retrograde on July 23rd. So we're going to be moving through a little bit more of a sensitive time come August, September, October, as Venus, the planet of love and balance and harmony, moves retrograde. And then Chiron also goes retrograde, and we sort of investigate some of this wounded warrior action that we have, that we all have inside of us. And in the end, becomes our superhero power. So we will definitely be talking more about that as that comes a little bit closer. And then the very last thing, July 28th, Mercury moves into Virgo and is just really drilling along. And so our mind moving very quickly in the month of July. And it's a good time to get some thinking done, to get some research done, to do some talking, but also to dissolve with Neptune retrograde and other planets stationing to go retrograde, to sort of dissolve and allow things to come up and to be able to move with these things that come up and make the adjustments, that need to be made. So that's it, I guess, for this week. Thanks for listening. This has been Stacey Dredd, your galactic ambassador. I will talk to you next week. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.